Well, watching that with me here in the studio, Susie Green, whose daughter Jackie's transition from a boy to a girl inspired Butterflies. She's on the left of your screen. On the right of your screen is Danielle Munro, whose 10-year-old son Max is also in the process of transitioning. Quite extraordinary for you to hear the narrative, but, you know, was it a difficult pregnancy or whatever? The working assumption immediately is that there's a medical catastrophe rather than something else. Absolutely, and I think as well, when Jackie told me when she was 4 that God had made a mistake and she should have been a girl, I was terrified as a mum. I mean, bearing in mind... Is that her language? Yeah. God's made a mistake? God's made a mistake. At age? 4. Extraordinary. She's 25 now. Yeah. So... at that point, I was really just terrified. And obviously that's quite a long time ago. So my thoughts for her were just terror around what she would face in terms of acceptance and would she ever find a partner? Would she ever be OK? So I just denied it. Not that she was wrong. No. But it would be tricky. Yes. Was that the same for you when Max first started talking about these issues? Did he use the same language?
Absolutely. I think he was 3 when he said to me, "When will God turn me into a boy?" And I explained that, well, it's not going to happen. We're not especially religious, but he would carry on and say, if I pray enough, will it happen in the morning? So it was always clear. And to me, like for Susie, it was always clear that he wasn't wrong. Something was wrong. Yeah. I mean, you will be aware, I mean, I am not here to wave a banner for either side of this debate, but you will be aware, just by reading the newspapers and listening to conversation, that some folk will still say this is somewhere between an indulgence and simply being wrong. What do you say to folk who make that argument? I think in the first 4 years of his life, we couldn't have been given him more pink clothes or fairy outfits, or, you know, tried to actually stir him into the right direction. And he would sometimes indulge us. So I've got pictures of him standing like a builder in a princess dress. Not very happy about it. So indulging, you know, we just tried to... You wouldn't come out of the house if you was wearing a dress. So you wear tracksuit bottoms. I mean, also for you, interestingly, by agreeing that your family's story becomes a part of this film, there's an element of campaigning in that as well as sharing. Well, absolutely. And the reason that there is an element of campaigning is because transgender children and young people are facing massive amounts of hostility. We've got 45% of trans kids attempting suicide at least once. Something needs to change with the way that society views transgender people in general. My daughter had 7 suicide attempts from the age of 11 to 14, and each and every one of those was because of a transphobic event. She was spat at, she was beaten up by grown men. You know, the abuse that she suffered just for simply being a trans girl was horrific, and that's what we need to talk about. We've only got 30 seconds left, but a quick one, either of you or both of you. What attitude did the schools take when you began to deal with this issue? I know it was a long time ago for you, but Danielle? It was a couple of months ago, and they were extremely helpful. They didn't raise any issue. They helped us, and it went very smoothly. And 15, 18 years ago for you? Primary school were great. Secondary school were pretty awful. Which is where all the problems for Jackie really started. OK, well, great to talk to both of you, genuinely, and let's hope that Butterfly keeps that debate going as constructively as this conversation has been as well. Lovely to meet you both. Thank you very much. Thank you.